cobwebs on the walls, no footsteps in the halls, no dishes in the sink, too much time to think. Things used to be, the lives we choose to lead, our lonely kind of love. No kids to put to sleep, kisses I can keep, no quiet sighing breaths, no painful little deaths, not for you and me. Lives we choose to lead, our lonely kind of love. You're tired every day, my voice it ran away. Packing up your trunk, now I'm out getting drunk. There's nothing left to say. Hate to end this way, our lonely kind of love. Kind of love, lonely kind of love, lonely kind of love.
Beautiful, Sean. My goodness.
Thanks, guy.
Breaks my heart, to be honest. Knowing the story behind it.
Yeah.
Alright, let's see what we got here. We have, pardon me, I'm just getting my notes here. So, fun fact, Sean. So, the past 2 days of filming, I actually lost my notebook with all my questions.
Oh, no.
So I was like, oh no, I have to go up based off of personality and communication skills.
Bring it up on the spot.
You know? So luckily I had something memorized, but I found it maybe a day or two ago. I was like, I need to put this on my iPad pronto. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, but yeah, dude, thank you for coming down.
We're doing it.
Let me ask you, so I guess let's start off on the first question we have here. So I know everyone has a different answer for this.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me a bit about your songwriting process? Like, do you start out with...
It's evolved over the years, and so the very first song I wrote, I went to a class at the local library that a local musician by the name of James Keys was leading, and he encouraged us to come up with a visual, and then try to write music that would match that visual, and then try to write lyrics that would tell a story about that visual. And that's sort of how I started in songwriting. And it's, I think, a really great way to get into a story song, which is something that James really excels at. More recently, I find that I've been coming up with riffs and finger-picking patterns and and ways to play the guitar that seem to fall naturally under my fingers. And then I just start writing, usually on my computer, just anything that comes to mind. And then I'll pick out some lines that I like, and I'll see if a story is evolving or emerging from it. Sometimes, like in the case of this song Stella, it was a picture that my niece had put on Facebook of her new baby girl with a sunflower bandana, right around her little baby's head. And so that was the inspiration for some of the lyrics of that song. And so you I always try to weave a story into it somehow, and try to have like an emotional arc. And so I get it all down on TextEdit in my little laptop, and then I cut and paste things around until I'm happy with the arc. Right, there needs to be some sort of emotional arc to a song too, for me to really like it.
That is so interesting. So you literally write down everything that comes to mind on your computer. Yeah. And then you take out certain sections that you like, and you kind of just like move them around like a puzzle.
Yeah.
That is so interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
And like 98% of it gets cut, right? So it takes there's a lot of noise up in here that I got to sift through before I find a turn of phrase that catches my attention.
Yeah. Can you tell me? So you also said your introduction. I think your introduction to songwriting is interesting too, because you said you took a class with James Keys. I met him.
Mm-hmm.
He's the piano player.
He's like I don't want to say Delta blues. He's like a bluesy country blues guitar player.
Never mind.
Left-handed guy. He does a lot of like it's like sort of gritty, rootsy kind of music.
Okay, never mind. I completely missed that.
No worries.
That's cool. James Keys, this is a shout out to you, man. Can you tell me a little bit more about what inspired you to get into songwriting? Did you write before? I mean, obviously you've played guitar for a little while.
Yeah, I didn't really get into songwriting until I was older. Much older in life. Like in high school, I played in the garage bands, and I sang in choruses and choirs, and I'd done sort of more traditional kind of music. But and like playing guitar in cover bands and whatnot. But I'd never done like songwriting, and I wanted to get into that a little bit more. The inspiration was I got really hooked on some acoustic folk music that I was listening to, that was just coming out. I think I picked up a Guitar Player magazine or something like that, and it had this review of Sarah Jarosz's album, and I went and listened to it. I'm like, this is amazing. And so then I went and I listened to other artists in that genre, and I found Gillian Welch and David Rawlings and the Milk Carton Kids, and they're writing all these incredible, beautiful, heartfelt songs to civil wars, and performing them in a way that's really engaging. And I'm like, I want to be able to do that. I don't know if I can do that, but I want to be able to do that. So that got me started.
Oh man, I think you are doing it.
I'm trying.
I see you playing it all the time, and you're also making an impact on your community too. You're a scientist. Mm. You said this was a few years ago now, but you wrote an article for CRISPR babies. I remember when there was concerns about that.
Yep.
Not music related.
Not music related.
That's really cool, man.
Yeah, so I'm interested in science, but I'm also interested in the ethics of science, and that's been front and center since even before the COVID-19 pandemic, when there was genome-engineered children that were produced overseas. And that's something that I caught wind of very early, thanks to social media, and I went on record very early as saying that's not what we should be doing with this technology, and it broke into a big scandal, and I ended up getting a lot of phone calls from a lot of reporters.
I mean, it takes a lot of courage, I feel like, to talk about not even your opinion on just like ethics, but I mean, especially as a professional,
Yeah, I think we have to, I've been thinking about this a lot lately, but I think we have to live our lives in alignment with our core values to the best of our capabilities. Yeah. And I love science. I love learning new things, and I love teaching people about what I learn. But there's a lot of people out there that aren't that way. That there's other things, other reasons to do science, like getting a patent, developing a new drug, becoming super famous. As far as scientists go.
Even in science?
Right? No,
in the science world?
Not so much.
Oh,
super was probably a little too much of a superlative, but you know what? I guess what I'm trying to say is, the older I get, the more important it is for me to live in alignment with what my values are, which is learning new things, curiosity, compassion for others, mutual respect, and trying to share what I've learned with as many people as possible. And so if it cost me my career because I made somebody angry, then oops, but at least I'll know that I was living life right by my own set of standards.
Damn, that's a powerful quote, man. Put that on a t-shirt, dude.
Well, maybe I'll get in trouble for it one of these days.
I'm sure you're not, man. You got a good heart, you're always working, and I feel like you're one of those people where you seem to be very reflective and just trying to grow yourself, as a person, I know
think that's important.
I've been trying to do that too the past couple years, but you know how it is, man.
Yeah.
Back to music. I'm sorry for throwing you off topic. I just threw.
It's totally okay.
Do you have any very memorable, important memories in music? It can be from a gig you played. It can be back from something that you just experienced in life. Maybe a song. Just set the stage for us.
So many. I had some of the best times of my life making music in this country cover band that I was in called Backyard Swagger.
Yes.
And so, this isn't a songwriting thing, but this is me pretending I'm Charlie Daniels on stage with a giant beard and a cowboy hat. And, we had some fun shows as a group. And it was all different cast of characters in that band. It was myself and my friend Miriam Smith, who's a wonderful violin player, and another guitarist, bassist, the whole nine yards. And one night we'd be playing at a nightclub here in Worcester, and there'd be 20-year-olds dancing their full heads off to these old country songs, and it was hilarious. And then the next night we might be at a casino, or we might be at a private party. And I think one of my favorite all-time moments was we're playing this private party in somebody's backyard, and this little kid, maybe 6 years old, wanted to sing a song with us. And it was, we didn't know what they were all about, what they were doing, but we looked at the host. He gave us the thumbs up, and that kid had written a song about their favorite pet lizard.
Oh yeah.
And so he just gets up to the microphone and starts belting out this song about a blue-tongued skink, and we're standing behind him trying to come up with an arrangement for it on the spot. And next thing you know, we've got a good little thing going with harmony vocals and a guitar part and the drums carrying a beat, and the crowd was going nuts. It was awesome. I wish I had it on film.
How long ago was this? Was this
Oh gosh, this would have been coming out of the shutdown in 2020. So either late summer 2020 or early summer 2021. I can't quite remember. It all blends together at some point.
So that's just so funny, because normally when people talk about people who musicians, when they talk about people wanting to sing with them, it's always some intoxicated individual. Say,
not this time.
Not this time.
I've had that experience. I met a guy named Sneak Eyes that was really good at singing Wagon Wheel. We've all had that experience.
Classic, man. There was a while, I love Wagon Wheel.
Yeah, me too.
But I also love how, there was a period where I can't get sick of the song. Even when, people were sick of it. People are still kind of sick of it, I feel. Not as much anymore. But I always remember that, so I purposely put it in my set because I know some people just, you know what I mean?
Some people are going to hate it forever just because of what it is, but most people really love it.
Yeah.
And they love it because it's a good song and it's fun to play.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was way overdone for a while, but at the end of the day, the music is what matters.
Yeah. So Sean, you also, so obviously James Keys left an impression on songwriting.
Absolutely.
Do you have any, you must have had some mentors in your life in regards to music, maybe some obviously inspirations that are like, I mean, you named a few from the albums from the Guitar Magazine, but please tell me more about some ones who really come to mind.
Just on my personal music journey, I learned a ton about singing from the choir director I had while I was an undergraduate student at the University of New Hampshire. And the choir director's name was Cleveland Howard II. And he liked to describe himself as 1/3 of the African American faculty on campus.
Oh, no.
He was a great man, a really great man. And he took me under his wing a little bit and helped me build a little more confidence in my voice. And he took us on tours of cathedrals in Montreal where we got to sing, and down to DC where we got to sing at American University and in the Lincoln Memorial. We actually got thrown out of the Lincoln Memorial for singing. That was an adventure. But he was just a great guy, a wonderful musician, and he introduced me to classical choral music that I hadn't experienced, knew nothing about, but he also introduced us to spiritual music. And I was hooked. I was totally hooked. And so that was a big influence on me, musically speaking. Growing up as a kid in the 80s, I always wanted to be the shreddy guitar player with the long hair, with the audience full of crazies, being, in a glam rock band, right? Hair band. It didn't work out so good for me. But so I always still get a kick out of the, listening to that genre of music. And I incorporate a lot of acoustic covers of 80s hair bands and some of my bar gigs and stuff like that. The other real inspiration was, there's a couple. Making music with Miriam Smith. So we wrote and recorded together as a duo for quite a while, and her sense of harmony and her incredible violin playing and just her friendship. I had such a great time working with her on her songs and hearing what she added to my songs. It really, I don't know how to describe it. It was just an incredible working relationship, and she's such a good human being that I just enjoyed her company and making music with her. And then the other person I really want to shout out is the bass player, sound engineer for Backyard Swagger. His name is Rob Swally. He still performs a lot, more solo acoustic now, but he taught me everything I know about sound engineering, and I, just from talking to him, listening to what he did, how he set up microphones, how he, would run compressors, how he would tune a room, just everything that he did. He always made the band sound really professional. And I was just like, throw some mics up there, turn up the knobs, let's go. But he really taught me that the audience appreciates the quality of the sound as much as the quality of the performance.
That's very important.
Yeah.
Wow. That's something. I'm one of those knob turning guys. You know what I'm saying? I say, okay, vocals good.
Yep.
I'm still, I do sound sometimes at the Raven.
Yep.
And it's, EQ is so important.
It is. Making space for everything.
Yeah. This is I'm trying to figure out I know you have to head out because you're in a little bit of a time crunch. But let me ask you this. What are the favorite aspects of your music or your performance that you are most proud of?
Still my absolute favorite way to perform is as a songwriter in a songwriting showcase, where I can play a few songs and I get to listen to my friends around me play a few of their songs and just really lose myself in that moment. That's for far and away the most enjoyable way to perform for me. And so I do that as often as I'm asked. What I'm really proud of is my ability to write a song that I think is a compelling song that makes somebody feel emotion and makes me feel emotion. And often people will say, that was a powerful song, or it was full of emotion or deep. And that's really what I want to be known for, writing a song that makes people feel. They may not be the catchiest, they may not be songs that you're going to dance to, but they're songs that if they bring a tear to my eye, then that's a hard thing to do. And I hope I can help other people feel that feeling, right? Because you got to feel it in order to process it, and you got to process it in order to move on from it. And I do that through music.
That is true. That is very difficult to do. And you have to be in the right headspace for it.
Yeah.
I know for some people set out on a mission to, like you said, create a song that you can dance to, and that's challenging too when you set out on a path. When you have this
great songs, I love the dance.
Yeah, but even still, I feel like when you're setting out on a mission to write a specific song, that for me is very challenging. I don't know how. Those Nashville writers are incredible. I don't know how they do it.
They blow me away.
Just
blow me away.
They write 5 hit songs on one day. I'm like, that is wild.
What they can accomplish in 5 minutes, I guess it's experience and talent. But what they can write in 5 minutes versus what it takes me, a week to bang out. I'm like, better not quit my day job.
Oh goodness. So what do you think? So this is an interesting question. I'm, especially seeing how you're a scientist. I'd love to hear, what do you think is the biggest challenge musicians face currently?
Oh, without question, I would say it's how artificial intelligence is driving music to a standard that's really unachievable either without AI or without incredible expensive music production. So I guess what I'm trying to say is you can go to a website or a service, you can pop in a chord progression, you can play a few chords on your acoustic guitar, and then it'll spit out a fully produced track with drums and everything's EQ'd beautifully and mastered the way you would want it to be mastered, and it's too easy, right? You lose the human element. And so the home recordist who wants to write a song, lay it down, and then release it so other people will hear it, they're fighting against that, in addition to the professional artists that are making music full-time for a living in professional studios and paying dearly for that time to get the same sound quality. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you can write a beautiful song and you can have a beautiful human performance of that song and you can capture it on tape, and then nobody's going to ever listen to it because it doesn't have the perfect tuning, the perfect EQing, the perfect spread of the stereo image, things that we've become so accustomed to hearing that we only notice them when they're absent in released music. And I'm really worried about how that's going to impact the future of recording.
Why are you it's definitely, I definitely see that, but why are you worried in regards to what are you worried about would be a better question, not why, but what are you worried about?
I guess
people being replaced by AI altogether?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm worried that the the song and the human element of the performance will get lost in the overproduction that's getting so easy now that all you have to do is type a few phrases into a chatbot, and now your 4-chord song is a fully produced pop piece, right?
Okay.
So all of the creativity that comes in the recording process, gone, right? The note that rings out a little bit weird in that old John Prine song, but really makes you understand that there's a human being plucking those notes, that's gone, right? That's what I'm worried about losing.
That's interesting. Huh. There is a question I typically do ask in regards to AI. Mm-hmm. It's funny how you beat me to the punch, but it is true. It is a huge reality in our modern landscape. Another question I ask is, how do you feel about like streaming services and Spotify? Like, that's a tough one too. Obviously, it's a huge tool, right? But what are your thoughts on that?
They're clearly gouging artists. That's not really up for debate. They're making a lot of money. They're not producing any of the content that's there. So that's kind of terrible, right? You want somebody who puts their blood, sweat, and tears and soul into a song to have at least the opportunity to make money off of it. And so Spotify and similar services has decreased the value of the music per se. But as an advertising tool, it's amazing, right? Because it is the way that people listen to music still. And all songwriters just want their song to get heard. And so if you want your song to get heard, you have to play their game. And, I haven't quite figured out how to play their game. But I guess I'm still trying. I know a lot of people have left the platform. Maybe an alternative will pop up that actually works. Maybe the era of recorded music is coming to an end, and we should all be focusing on live shows and honing our performance craft so that we can make more of a personal connection with a local audience. And maybe that's the way I'll go moving forward. But yeah, if I'm gonna spend a few weeks producing out a track and playing all the other instruments and trying to get it to sound good, I'm probably gonna throw it up on Spotify in addition to Bandcamp and the places that I would prefer to put it.
Yeah. And like you said, obviously it's you mentioned playing the instruments yourself,
Mm-hmm.
And if you're working with other musicians too and hiring like sound engineers, it can be very expensive.
So expensive.
Like thousands. I'm not sure in regards to what the average cost of an album costs right now, but
more than I'm willing to spend, which is why I invested all of the money that I would have put towards that into recording equipment, only for AI to come out and render all of that completely obsolete.
Oh, no.
There's the truth of it.
My friend was telling me, my friend just got into songwriting, and he bought one of those AI tools.
Uh-huh.
And he, my understanding is, I think he sang the melody,
yep,
and he wrote the lyrics.
Yep.
But he had like you said, the full produced track behind his voice.
Yes.
This is nuts.
It's nuts.
I was like,
It's incredible.
It sounds so good. Like you said,
There's AI voices. You can get AI singers if you don't want to sing. You can type in the melody in the MIDI track.
That's crazy.
And if that soprano sounds too nasally, you can bring in another AI voice to take care of it.
So what do you think it means to be an artist?
An artist. I adopt sort of a pretty inclusive definition, right? I think art is for everyone. I think art is what you want it to be, right? So I've seen people do amazing things with pencils that just blow me away, right? But I've also seen somebody doing construction work whose capabilities of getting all the angles exactly right feels like artistry to me, right?
Yeah.
So I do subscribe to a inclusive definition of art. I think art is, if it's something that you're doing that makes you feel good about yourself, that you feel creative while you're doing it. Doesn't matter if it's music or imagery or photography or making movies or even coming up with a really clever TikTok reel, whatever it is. If that's your inspiration and something you really enjoy doing in the moment, absolutely, that's art. And you should do art. You should give yourself that freedom to explore that part of you. And if you're proud of it, you should share it. Even if you're not proud of it, you should share it and see what you can learn. That's my feeling.
I love that, dude. That was, I didn't even consider, but it's true. Creating things like reels.
Yeah.
Obviously, architecture and construction.
Yeah.
Some of the projects that they work on. They work so hard to keep everything looking the best.
Perfect.
And I remember I used to work construction too.
Uh-huh.
And there's this gentleman who was a different company. He used a laser level for everything, and he's showing me this deck that he had just built outside. And he's like, look at the beams, and underneath the deck, it was true, they were flawless.
Yeah.
And the level of just being proud of what he accomplished, and the effort and the love and the passion.
Exactly.
Right? I think that is so true. Exactly. And what you talked about in regards to TikToks too, that is so true.
Mm-hmm.
They write these funny little skits. It is true. It's an art form.
It is. It takes a lot to have when instant death is just one thumb swipe away.
Yeah.
Right. It takes a lot to come up with a compelling 20-second video.
Oh yeah.
I can't do it. My 13-year-old stepdaughter seems to be pretty good at it, but I can't do it.
Oh, she's an influencer?
No, but she loves to TikTok.
That is so funny. I think we have one more for you. I guess this is kind of a big question. I feel like it might be one of those ones where it stumps you, maybe.
Okay.
But what do you? I guess it doesn't have to be music related. But what do you want to be known for, and what would you like to leave behind for the next generation?
Oh, these are big questions, and these are things that I think about.
Oh.
What do I want to be known for? I want to be known as somebody who was compassionate and caring for others, somebody who didn't put their own needs first, but cared about the greater community good. I want to be known as somebody who's not just a talker, but a doer. If somebody were to, as my coffin's slowly sinking into the grave, I feel like, well, that guy was so lazy. That would be the worst insult you could ever say to me, right? And I just, no thank you. I want to be known as somebody who didn't just talk the talk, but also, put his back to work, doing things to make the world a better place. Now it's debatable what those things are and what's the most productive use of time, but that's what I want to be known for. And what I want to leave behind is a body of work that stands the test of time. So if it's a song, I want the song to be compelling in 50 years, long after I'm gone. If it ever gets heard again, I want my kids to be able to listen to them and share them with their children and say, hey, look, great granddaddy Ryder was a guitar player, and this is a song that he wrote. I want, for music, I want it to be relatable, something that transcends generations, if possible. As a scientist, I just want to be right all the time. You know what I mean? I want the work that I produce in the lab to stand the test of time, meaning some other lab doesn't show that we were super wrong and thought about it totally wrong the whole time, but that happens, and that's part of the business. And then, some of this is motivated by my upbringing. So I came from a fairly low-income family, that moved around quite a bit from job to job and state to state. And one of my goals in life was to provide a little more stability for my children so that they could go to the same school for their whole education, and they could get a college degree at a school that I could reasonably afford and then graduate debt-free. I wanted to be able to do that. And then maybe their kids will be able to go to like some really nice private school and graduate debt-free, because I couldn't pull that off. But I wanted to sort of give my kids opportunities that I didn't have, but I also am very grateful for the opportunities that I was given, because without them I never would have had a chance to be successful at all. I could have been just another kid who was good in school, but got a struggled to find and keep work afterwards, like is common in my family history.
Oh man. Well, first off, congratulations. Good for you, man.
Both kids graduating this week.
You must be so proud.
I am very proud. I'm blessed, and I think it's important to feel gratitude. It's important to express gratitude, and that's part of what motivates me to keep going. I am blessed, and I owe it to the people that were there with their hands stretched out, helping me up to help out the next person up. You know what I mean? There's no reason why we all can't be living great lives. No reason at all.
Yeah.
Okay, so this next song is about my grandniece Stella. I wrote the song for her on the occasion of her christening. I wrote it for her. I wrote it for her mom, my niece Molly. That was years and years and years ago now. I never really played it all that much out and about or live, but lately I've fallen back in love with this song, and it's one of the happier songs that I do. So I'd like to see if we can change it up from the usual sad stuff that I'm known for playing. Stella girl, you're the only one. Stella girl, you're the rising sun. Pretty eyes and a smiling face. Share the warmth of your mom's embrace. 'Cause she knows that life ain't easy, and some things will bring you down. Your family, it's a strong one, will always be around. Stella, don't you grow up too fast. Learn to have fun and learn to laugh. Always treat your family right. Got your back in every fight. 'Cause we know that life ain't easy, and some things will bring you down. Your family, it's a strong one, will always be around. Wear some flowers in your hair. Have some fun and breathe the air. dance all day and sing this song. Feel the joy we stroll along. 'Cause you know that life ain't easy, and some things will bring you down. Your family, it's a strong one, will always be around. I like the way this guitar sounds.
Oh snap! Thanks so much, Sean. I'll give them a heads up. Like, Sean loves this.
That sounds
They're
great.
like, Sean,
I'm picky. I like it. It sounds great.
man.